welcome to the Movie Reception Show. My name is Fariba, and today's the day that I've been talking about a lot, which is not one but two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I've been anticipating this day for a little bit. I've been saying this from the last couple of episodes that we're going to have this double feature. And so I don't know why. I think I may have a little bit of clue now that I've kind of dug a little bit deep into the internet sphere, and apparently one of the two episodes is actually a filler episode. So I don't know how I feel about that. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad if it is a filler episode, but at the same time I do also wonder if 5 and 6 are like they really marry with each other. Like I hope that there's a connection to it, and that's probably why they made it so that 5 and 6 would have to be aired both in the same night. So I'm gonna hope for the best. Now of course the way that we've ended so far, it's becoming pretty clear that we're about to start seeing Matt kind of getting back into his groove as the devil of Hell's Kitchen. We saw a little bit of the glimpse of that at the end of the last episode, which was kind of anticipated. Again, the whole point of why this show is called Daredevil Born Again. Like, yes, it went to a point where he kind of took a hiatus as being the Daredevil, but now it seems so that because of recent events, he's going to slowly start kind of jumping back into his previous vigilante persona, which I'm very excited to see how that's going to transpire, right? Because, I mean, we have the whole situation with Fisk, and then him being a lawyer, and then kind of his situation. So, and on top of that, we have the whole vigilante situation going on. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, right? And plus, we only got to see a glimpse of Muse, so I wonder how that's going to take things further in terms of the story. I mean, we're now about to hit the halfway mark. So, yeah, I mean, let's see how this double feature goes. One thing I'm going to mention is that the way I'm going to be doing this video is I'm not going to just do one video. I'm not going to just do one episode, then do a breakdown, then another. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch both episodes back to back. So I finish 5, then finish 6, and then I'm gonna do my commentary at the end. So I'm gonna do it that way. It's just the easier way. It just saves a lot of time. I don't want to post 2 different videos, so we're gonna keep it at 1. So yeah, I don't want to wait any further for those double features. So without further ado, let's get right down into Daredevil Born Again episodes 5 and 6.
Hate to disappoint you, Mr. Murdoch, but Mr. Aldrich has had a bit of an emergency this morning. Won't be in for a few hours.
Hey, that's Kamala's dad.
I'm Yusuf Khan, assistant bank manager here at New York.
Less likely to clash.
You must be careful, though. A leprechaun might pinch you.
Oh.
Candy. My daughter, Kamala. She's in California, visiting some friends there in La La Land, as they say.
Where's home?
Jersey City.
Jersey City. Mm-hmm. Well, it certainly has a...
So,
I prefer to hope...
Why is she in California?
That's the nicest thing I've heard anyone say. Superhero, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel?
Now he's just showcasing his daughter. Aww.
This is her.
Oh
right
my god.
Custom designed Funko in her honor.
I love that.
Oh, yeah, well, you can't see. But,
well, that's certainly the nicest no I've received yet.
Ready then.
Really? On St. Paddy's Day?
20 minutes of courage, lads. Then we got one
All right, so I'm on my way now. I'll probably... Hold on a sec.
Hands in the air, you silly bastard!
Person, call 911.
Oh, Maddie. What are you going to do today?
Hey, we've got one more. You. Another step and it'll be your last.
You talking to me? Right. I'm sorry, what's happening here?
Right. On your knees, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, wow.
On your knees!
Okay.
Wow.
All right. You kill anyone and your armed robbery charge converts to a felony murder. And you're looking at 25 to life.
We have... All right then, Mr. Solicitor here may not have understood the rules.
Solicitor
Let it be
meaning
a warning.
lawyer. I just learned this.
Where's the bank? We have a blind man. Do we have a deaf one as well? I said Stephen Aldrich. Come out, wherever you are, please, Stephen.
He ain't here today.
sanctimonious twat, trying to do right by the visually impaired. Do I?
Goddamn.
I don't like you, solicitor.
Matthew Murdoch.
Murdoch! Oh, Jesus Christ. Not just a blind solicitor with a murder complex, but an Irishman. Where's your family from then, Mr. Murdoch?
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Do you hear? Jesus wept. A blind solicitor and hold for it, an orphan? Are you bloody serious? You're like a regular wee Charles Dickens character, aren't you?
Wait, Charles Dickens character.
Fuck it, take the husband. This one's...
You feel that? Aye.
Oh, he feels that.
Good.
Oh, nice action.
Open bloody door.
Oh, smooth.
Mr. Murdoch.
I needed the bank manager to be sufficiently motivated to open the vault. He is now. We're almost in.
Why are you talking to me then?
Watch out.
You can't just crack it open like it's a piggy bank I gave Kamala to
My
instill
dude.
in her the value of saving.
Did it?
Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you?
A really good one.
Yeah, very, very good.
Minutes before I shoot the first hostage.
So, was it true what you said upstairs, Mr. Murdoch, about being an orphan?
I never knew my mother until much later in life.
I'm sorry, that must...
Oh, so we're acknowledging season
I
3.
need to apologize, Mr. Khan.
Sorry.
Got this, DeLuca.
Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, he decides to wear his mask again, I see. Oh. Damn. Damn.
Great. It's a plan then. And please, call me Yusuf. You know, my wife, Muniba, she makes the most delicious fresh parathas. And my daughter,
Ah, the famous Kamala.
yes, Kamala. Okay, great. I will see you.
Matt had it this whole time.
Thou did establish St. Ives as a judge in the midst of his brethren,
Oh,
making him a friend and advocate of the poor. Is you know where to find me.
Interesting you should ask. I've told you the premise, right?
Maybe.
Vigilantes. Why we revere the mask.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
You need to give Victor the 1 point.
You have experience with those people, don't you?
With animals.
Clearly.
Vigilantes. You've represented a few, right?
Ooh, what are you researching me now?
I don't know. Frank Castle?
The Punisher. You wanna interview the Punisher?
Bad idea?
No, it's like...
Right?
Daredevil been gone for like a year, honey.
It's my Uber. All right. Don't be weird. I'm not gonna stalk your clients.
Johnny,
My guy
just
in Philly.
tell him what you told me. The worst news.
Oh, right. It's blood. It's the mural. It's made out of human blood.
Yep. Okay, so we got Muse coming in.
Your strategy.
But something like this, that's for the police.
Police killed my uncle. I'm not going to them.
All right, fair enough. But what do you want me to do about it?
Take action.
That's fine.
Unleash the Daredevil.
Cool. My bad for thinking you cared.
It's not that simple, Angela. It's not how this works.
We take a picture of you.
Not a selfie though, just like artist, his work, you know.
That's the guy from Hawkeye.
In my career,
And many associates along the way.
what are you suggesting?
I'm saying your port expansion project is a self-serving con, Mr. Mayor. You're using taxpayer dollars to further enrich yourself.
And your colleagues, so to speak.
Just don't lose sight of that.
Oh. That's a burn.
Tell your wife the flowers are exquisite tonight, if you would.
Oh.
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 Yeah. But it seems my suits aren't fitting like they were.
Man, you gotta be straight with me, buddy. You gotta let this one go. Just let the police do their jobs.
As if they've done anything.
These came straight from the forensic team, so.
This is every bad apple in the barrel.
Yes, it appears.
All the bad cops.
Officers have a subculture amongst them. People like to use the word gang. I prefer motivated individuals. And due to the extreme nature of
I don't like
the
this.
city is in a crisis. Serial
don't
killers
like
roaming
this.
our streets. He needs to be stopped. Your skills because of your ability to get results. Consider yourself founding members of my anti-vigilante task force. Buck.
Anti-vigilante. Okay. Well, that's not good for Maddie.
This killer Muse, he wears a...
Oh, honey, no. Why would you go by yourself? Oh, no. Come on, Maddie. We gotta see that red suit of yours. Oh, yeah.
Fuck it.
I love how you just said fuck it. Let's do it! Oh no. That's not good.
But that's a difficult thing for me to do.
Oh no.
You understand that, right?
Oh no.
How we are locked together.
Oh no.
Our experience shared. And when I was younger, smaller, it can be a great equalizer.
Oh no. Oh. Nice to see you back. killing him? Matt.
Daredevil?
It's okay. I'm here. Yeah.
We have it. Those were episodes 5 and 6. We have now completed the double feature, and that would basically be it, because I think after tonight, the rest of the episodes are going to be weekly, so including the finale. So let's get right down into it, right? As I had, was reading before the episode, like there was some speculation that episode 5 was going to be a filler episode, that episode 5 was clearly a filler episode. I mean, it's still heartwarming to see Kamala's dad. I mean, it's been a while since we've even seen any trace of Miss Marvel or anything from that side, because there was the show, of course, but then she appeared in the Marvels, and then since then we haven't really seen her, although I know there was at least like one kind of cameo that happened, maybe possibly post-cred. I can't remember, it's been a while. So yeah, we haven't seen that side of the family in a while, although I'm very curious to know why she's in California. Maybe you guys might know about that, something, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think what could be in California, but nothing comes to mind right now. Maybe I'm just kind of blurring my mind in terms of like everything that's been established in the MCU. But even that being the case, it's nice to see just any part of Kamala Khan. Again, the sad thing about it is that it was basically a filler episode. Yes, we got to see a lot of Charlie Cox in action, which is great. I mean, a lot of times we kind of are missing a lot of the action, so it's nice to see some bits of those, and you can see kind of how that's helping, like kind of pushing him to once again become the devils of the Hell's Kitchen again. And again, this is the whole point of this series is the fact that we're about to see him reborn as a Daredevil, so that was a given. It is a bit disappointing that episode 5 was essentially a filler episode, which now looking at it now, it makes sense why they made this a double feature, just to counteract the fact that episode 5 doesn't really add a whole lot to the story, aside from the fact that we just get some action with Matt, so, and a little bit of Kamala Khan, so just kind of a little bit of like a way to kind of just add a little bit into the MCU. But aside from that, not a whole lot to it. It's just a robbery case. That's about it, really. Yes, we get to see it, like we see little bits and pieces of that later in episode 6, but that was clearly a filler episode. That was a filler episode, as a lot of people were reporting on the last week or so that episode 5 is essentially a filler episode, and now that I've seen the episode, it is a filler episode, so it's very disappointing. I wonder if that's one of the episodes that were filmed before they did the whole, restart of the whole series. Because remember, before the actual series that we got now, like right during, like around the time of like the strikes, they're about a good way through the filming, and then as they were kind of waiting through this, the whole strikes, like the executives had watched what had already materialized from the filming, and they were not very impressed by it. So instead of just continuing it off, they're like, you know what, we're just gonna restart everything. So I wonder if this was like one of those episodes that were filmed beforehand, like before the restart, like maybe they just kept some of the footage and decided to just kind of go with it. I wonder if that's the case, or if this is truly one of those episodes that they actually filmed like after the strikes. Who knows? But it feels like it was like a pre-strike episode that was filmed. So because I will say this, like the tone of episode 5 and episode 6 were almost like day and night. Like episode 5 was kind of just like, oh, it's just another procedural case, whereas episode 6 you can get the sense of how that fits a lot more with what has been going on with the rest of the series, with like the ominous, dark, gloomy tone. So that was something that I kind of gathered just watching those 2 episodes. Again, maybe I'm kind of over analyzing it in my way, but not very highly excited about episode 5. I can imagine that this is probably going to be like one of the lower rated episodes, just because it doesn't really add a whole lot to kind of the general lore that we're having. Like it is kind of a wasted. I think the episode itself ended up being like 39 minutes in total, but if you count like the credits and the song, I feel like that was a whole like 30 minutes that didn't really do a whole lot. So there's that. Oh well, I mean, at least we got episode 6, right? So thankfully, we did get episode 6 where we actually get back to what's really happening with Matt and Wilson Fisk. We see a lot more developing. We're starting to see a little bit more of Matt kind of clinging on the fact that he wants to really get back to kind of his Daredevil persona. We kind of see bits and pieces of that. There's, of course, like, you know, trigger points that are happening where it's like, oh, we have a yellow niece, and then her coming out, and then the whole Muse situation. Like, we're finally starting to see a little bit more Muse, because he's been hinted about, you know, the last few episodes, but we didn't really get to see a clear, you know, didn't get to see kind of him manifesting in a full picture in a way that we saw in tonight's episode. Like, we actually got to see a little bit more of Muse than ever before. So nice to see that he's finally getting integrated into the story, because like we're already halfway through the series, and it's just like we're now seeing Muse. And so and it's kind of interesting to see, because now with Muse now part of the story, you can now see kind of how Matt and Wilson Fisk are now connected. Of course, there's going to be the mystery right there, like why is Muse himself targeting Wilson Fisk? And this is probably must be something coming out of comics, which I'm not too well versed in. So maybe there's something in the comics that might explain a whole lot about why he's targeting Wilson, why he's, you know, bad mouthing him, using his art, and then let alone the fact that he's using blood to basically design his graffitis. So it's just like, okay, I wonder what's going on there. He's clearly a dangerous individual. I don't know if you can really consider him a vigilante at this point, because he doesn't really do a whole lot in terms of vigilantism. He's not saving anyone. He's actually hurting people and even killing people. So yeah, so I do wonder what his MO is. Like, why is he doing the way he is? Why is he after Wilson Fisk in particular? Hopefully we'll probably get a little bit more of those answers in episodes 7, 8, 9. Which is insane now saying that, because we only have 3 episodes left, and it's just like, I feel like we haven't really gone down to like, I feel like we haven't really gone to like the depths of the series. Like we still have so much to cover, and yet we only have 3 episodes left. So I hope that it's gonna end off in a good way. We'll see about that. But it's nice to see a little bit more action this time around, right? So we're kind of going past the legal Matt Murdock. We're finally kind of starting to transition into kind of the old versions of Daredevil and Wilson Fisk. What I really loved about that ending is that we can just see the parallelism of both Matt and Wilson kind of going back to their old ways, because that's kind of what it was alluding to. And I love some of the visuals that we saw with the fight scenes, because I think that was clearly the highlight of this episode, like all the fight scenes. Whether it be with Fisk or whether it be with Daredevil, like you can see the parallelism. I was just like, oh man, I love the transition. I love how they're kind of just like showing them as antithesis of each other, like how they're going back to their old ways in some form or some way. And it's like, oh wow, like this is kind of where we're kind of going back to, right? So I really love that. I love how they kind of did that whole transition right there. I think it just once again shows that, you know, no matter what they try to do to kind of become different people, at some point they're going to go back to their old ways, just because that's just who they are. I think we kind of got the sense of that in tonight's episode, especially in the last 10 minutes, that okay, we're starting to see kind of them manifesting back to their old ways. Now I do wonder again, like what's going to happen with Daredevil, because like it's like initially he took that hiatus just because of, well, not hiatus, but he decided to give up and retire the Daredevil persona because of what happened to Foggy. But the reason why of course he came and did this whole thing, and you know, with Muse is of course to go and save the Yellow niece. So it's just like, okay, is this going to be a one-time thing, or is this kind of going to open Matt's eyes to realize that right now the world does need, or at least in New York, that New York really needs vigilantes, because clearly there's like, clearly the little guy is not winning in any way, and the little guy is being pummeled in every corner of the way. So it's just like, okay, maybe this might be a wake-up call for Matt to kind of go back and retrace his steps as a Daredevil, despite what happened with Foggy and what the consequence could be in his personal life. We'll see about that, of course. But even that being the case, just seeing tonight's episode, it's starting to kind of come together. Like, I feel like this is maybe the first entry point and where we're starting to get everybody who's like a critical player in this series, to like how their stories are finally starting to tighten up a little bit, and I am happy about that. And I love how it's being connected with Muse. Of course, again, there's still mysteries about this because we still don't know a whole lot about Muse and why he's here, and again what he's doing, and you know what he's trying to do with Wilson. And again, we're hopefully gonna get some answers with that in later episodes. But yeah, I mean, just seeing tonight's episodes, it definitely is kind of like you're definitely going on a journey, but it's a very slow journey. It's not as fast paced as the ones that we got from the Netflix series. I mean, again, you can get the sense of how different it is. It does feel in comparison to the Netflix series, because just like the Netflix series, like you kind of get an idea of like what's going on, and it's just like there's usually a general idea, and that kind of builds upon everything else that's going on in the storytelling and the arcs and the development. I will say I love that they actually like acknowledge season 3. I think this is episode 5 because Yusuf was asking Matt about the fact, you know, whether or not he was actually an orphan, and the fact that he acknowledged the fact that he didn't know about his mom until much later. I was like, okay, that's season 3. So we've now established that at least season 3 material is just about canon. So at least we know that that's at least confirmed. So maybe, who knows? So that, I'm not thinking about it, I kind of retract my whole my whole comment about maybe this was filmed beforehand, because now it's just like, wait a second, maybe this might actually have been filmed after, and they just kind of went with this whole episode. And again, not the best decision in my opinion, because I feel like there could have been a whole better way to kind of taken up those 30 minutes and use that and kind of use that somewhere else, in my opinion, because again, it did feel like a filler episode, but it's fine. Hopefully this is the one and done. Like we won't have any more filler episodes beyond that. At least with episode 6 there's a little bit more in like, you know, going back to like what's really going on in the main series, and now we're starting to see kind of everything come together in a tight ball. Now it's just a matter of seeing how they're gonna try and conclude it, because we only now have 3 episodes. But yeah, not too shabby. Again, not a big fan of episode 5. Episode 6 was definitely a much better episode to watch, just because of the fact that it had a lot. It actually jumps a little bit more on what's going on so far. Again, I love the transitions. I feel like, again, Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock. I mean, every time that he shows up, like I swear to God, like he was made to play Daredevil. And just seeing that fight sequence against Muse, it's just like him screaming, and but if there's one thing I would kind of give, like, I would say a little bit of like I would take points off of it, is just the fact that in the earlier sequences, just as he's about to leave his apartment, you can see kind of a little bit of the CGI. I just do not like what they've done with that. Like the CGI is really off with that. But I'm at least happy that in the actual main fight sequences, it was actually like very well done choreography with real stunt work, with real action, no like CGI, no nothing, no visual effects. It's like actually done with hand-to-hand combat, and I love that. Like that felt like I was watching old Daredevil from like the Netflix series, and that was bringing a smile on my face. I mean, of course, that was kind of transitioning with the whole Phil Wilson Fisk thing, and just seeing him and kind of like him going back to his old ways as well. Which now, speaking of Wilson Fisk, just like, okay, what's going on with him? I mean, like it's incredible just to see a guy like him. Like he was once one of the leading guys who, you know, who basically was like the leader of the mafia in his own way, his own crime world, and then just for him to become the mayor, and then just see how puny he feels in comparison to like everyone else who has the money and power, and how he has so little influence when it comes to that side of the world. Very, very interesting just to see that, right? Just to see him feel a little bit weak in that stance. And then it was nice seeing the guy from Hawkeye. I only know of him as Dalton from Better Call Saul, but I know there was a different name for his character in Hawkeye, but it was nice seeing him again. I wonder what that means about what's okay, Kate Bishop. That's what it is, Kate Bishop, and her mom. I mean, I think her mom is still in prison at this point, right? Because that's where their connection is too. So I'm just kind of like, why are you gonna reach out to him? Like, this is a guy who was like fighting him off with his fencing stick. So it's like, but it's fine. But I mean, honestly, a little bit better progress with episode 6. I think that kind of starts to bring things together a little bit. I'm just hoping that, you know, given the fact that we only have 3 episodes left, this is where I'm starting to get into concerning territory, just because this is a issue that I always see with just about any Marvel Star Wars show, which is that a lot of times they start off strong, then the middle kind of gets a little muddly, and then a lot of times the finale or the last half or the last third of the series can go either way. It could be very good, it could be redeeming, or it will just plummet. Like, we're just gonna have to see how it all goes. So I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm hoping that in the last episodes things will move forward in a really well direction. Of course, we're going to have season 2, so no matter what, that's going to happen. So I wonder if a lot of it is going to set up season 2, which is like, I question that. But regardless, we still have 3 more weeks left of this Daredevil journey. And I hope that we get what we need to kind of get him integrated into the MCU and, again, set up season 2. So that's all I have to say about tonight's episodes 5 and 6. Let me know your thoughts now having seen it. What are your thoughts just in general having seen episodes 5 and 6? I mean, did you like the filler episode that we got? I mean, did you appreciate it more than I did? Maybe there's something that you may have spotted that maybe I may have just overlooked myself. In terms of episode 6, like, I mean, we've seen this whole transition between this whole fight. We finally get to see Matt back in the Daredevil suit after like over a year, right? What do you think? Is this a one-time thing, or do you think this could be a permanent situation with Matt, that he's finally now going to remain as the Daredevil? What does this mean now, considering the fact that there's now going to be an anti-vigilante task squad? Like, that puts him at risk now. So, what about Wilson Fisk, right? Does that mean that we officially are seeing Wilson Fisk going back to his old ways? The guy who likes to use his arms and smash. And let me know your thoughts just going into the final 3 episodes. Like, do you think there's still going to be enough time to wrap up the series? Considering the fact that we just got to Muse, are we going to get some answers about Muse? Are we going to see Frank or even Bullseye show up again? Are we going to have to wait till the finale? Do you have any other thoughts and theories going into the final 3 episodes? Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.